Unsafe roads have killed a young techie again in Chennai. There's been no end to road tragedies. This Chennai techie tripped over a manhole, a speeding vehicle killed her right there on the spot. Quite a familiar narrative. One feels almost helpless and hopeless looking at this because time and again we've reported such instances. We've questioned authorities, but nothing seems to have changed. This 22-year-old girl was doing her sisterly duty of dropping a younger brother to his coaching class. The brother preparing for medical entrance exam. It was Shobna's duty towards her brother to drop him to class. Little did she know that her life's journey itself will be cut short in one of these regular trips that she takes with her brother in Chennai's hazardous roads. Yes, it's a familiar narrative. Shobna was navigating her way through potholes in a bad stretch of road. Her scooty tripped and fell, leaving her and her brother on the road. With speeding vehicles plying on that road, disaster was waiting to happen. While the brother had a miraculous escape, Shobna's luck ran out and a truck ran over her, leaving her spot dead. The incident occurred near Maduravoyal in Chennai. The police has now arrested the truck driver, who initially fled from the scene. Shobna was working as an engineer with a private company called Zoho. So this has not only left her family shattered, this has also left her colleagues in her organization shell-shocked. CEO of Zoho, Sridhar Vembu, has reacted as well. He took to Twitter and blamed the bad roads as the reason for Shobna's death. In fact, we can put that tweet out on our screens as well, where the CEO of a company says, "One of our engineers, Ma Shobna, died tragically when her scooter skidded in the heavily potholed roads near Maduravoyal in Chennai. She was taking her younger brother to school. Our bad roads have caused a tragic loss to her family and to Zoho." So now, after commuters raised concerns over the bad state of road, local authorities brought in sand and debris, filled the pothole and leveled it up with a road mover within an hour. NHAI, the National Highways Authority of India, has confirmed that the road on which this 22-year-old woman died belongs to the National Highways Authority of India. This is the authority that maintains the road. However, it says that this particular service road was not meant to be used by heavy vehicles. The road where the accident occurred was meant for two-wheelers and small vehicles only. Heavy load trucks were prohibited in this area. However, they were illegally using it, leading to major damage to the road. So that's the statement coming in from NHAI.
Yesterday, this incident happened around 7:20 a.m. The lady was coming from Porur and she was on the way to Mogapur to drop her brother in the school for the schooling. So every day she was riding. But I am staying in Aishwarya Nagar, just around 150-200 meters away from here. Every day we are facing the problem, and I can witness every day somebody was falling in the same spot. This is a pathole, not every raining season we are facing such a problem.
Let me go across to Dharani joining us live. Dharani, angry citizens there, of course, now reacting to the situation because this is a stretch of road which is used by a large number of Chennaiites. It could be anybody. So quite natural that people will be angry and outraged over the death of a young girl, Dharani.
Yes, in fact, the residents of this locality, they are telling that, weekly once they are, coming across such accident, issues here, and they've written multiple times, to the Greater Chennai Corporation, to the National Highways Authority of India, to the Chennai Collector, to the Chief Minister's cell, and also to the Chief Secretary. So they've written multiple times to all these authorities demanding action. They wanted a simple thing. They wanted this road to be repaired because this 32-kilometer stretch between Maduravoyal and Thambaram is full of potholes. At least 20 kilometers of this stretch is completely full of potholes. So the residents demanded action. They wanted this road to be repaired as soon as possible to prevent further accidents from happening. But none of the authorities took any note of the issue. And in fact, right now I'm having 3 residents of this locality with us. We'll speak to them itself. Sir, for how long this road is like this, and what do you know about the incident that happened yesterday?
Yeah. So, first of all, I would like to say about myself. My name is Kannan. My background is BTech and MBA. Last 30
30 years I spent my life in, half of my life spent in abroad only because of my two daughters' purpose.
How long have you been staying here? And talk about the condition of this road.
Yes, okay. So now again I am going back to abroad to say something. Okay, yesterday I saw this incident lively. It was last 2 days I couldn't get sleep because so I love my daughter too much. Same like that, parents also lose their life. Now this is not first time, this is second time. Last in 2020, two people died. Now yesterday. So this incident already raised by our welfare association leader, Mr. Lasas. Many times he informed the concerned person, but nobody is taking as a seriously. So now I am worried about that because my residence is here only. My daughters and my wife is always crossing this road only. Now next week I am going to travel again to go to abroad. I am leaving my family. My wife is alone. You see this night there is no lights here. So now I am as a bullet point, I am straight away talking with this is live station. Definitely our CM and son of CM will look at this. So after see these videos, you have to take. Now my final thing is what I am expecting from the end. We don't want to lose more life. Because this is going to happen.
Of course, like nobody wants to lose any more lives because of this negligence of authorities. And we'll talk to this person, sir. Have you filed any complaint with have you yourself filed any complaint with the authorities about this issue earlier?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. I am Lasar. I am residing in Aishwarya Nagar. I have made several complaints to National Highway and CM cell, Chief Secretary cell, as well as Chennai, Greater Chennai Corporation Commissioner and Mayor also. Even I have made a email complaint to Thiruvarkad Collector Office. Multiple complaints,
Nobody took any action. Nobody even came here to visit this spot.
Not yet. Previous government, Mr. Pandirajan visited this area. We had some relief. We thought we can find some solution. Afterwards, last 6 months back, our current minister, Mr. Nazar, visited this area, and we set up some solution we will get and get out of this thing. You see, there is no street light at all. Okay, now the big problem for us is the judiciation. Who is owning this property now? Even it's public property, National Highway is telling it's a state highway. State highway people are telling it's a national highway. Where you will log the complaint, how we will get the solution. Our request is as a residents, as a taxpayer of in our country, simply I am telling honestly, there is no value for the human life in India.
Yes, sir. There is no street light in this location because all I could see was dark. There's no street light at all. So do you reside here, and what is your comment on this issue?
Okay. I am Nagaraj. I am staying in Afrida Nagar here. More than 12 years I am staying in this area. Actually, when I was more than 10 years, there is no street light here in this area. Very dark. See, train snatching. So much of train snatching here, and so much of accidents going here. Nobody is bothered here. See, you have to tell the police station, and police they will find out. But they will find out. But that is not find out that. Same like that happen. Always happen like that only. See, I told the police people also put them police outposts also.
Citizens
here,
are feeling absent.
All right. So basically, these three men, they are.
No, Dharani,
Basically, these three men, they are residing in this locality and.
Carry on. Please carry on.
Yeah, back to you. Yeah, so these three people, they are residing in this locality. Like Aishwarya Nagar, where these people reside, is located some 150 meters from this exact location where the incident happened. So these three men, they are telling that for the past 10 years they have been demanding action. They have been demanding that the authorities repair this road, and there is no street lights in this location. Right now I'm using a light from our own source, from our office, but there is no street light in this location. So during night times, imagine a woman or an elderly person or even a man riding through this pothole filled road with no light. Just imagine the kind of the kind of situation they have to go through. So the residents of this locality and the commuters who have been using this stretch, they've been facing the same situation, the same terrible situation for almost 10 years now, and all they demand is action. Now we have lost a very young life, a budding engineer who has got placed in a very good company, a very good private company. So only after she lost her life, now the authorities are rushing in, and they are just trying to do some minor patchworks. But when will we find a permanent solution to this problem is the bigger question we are raising here at Mirror now.
If there are any more local residents, Dharani, around you, Please talk to them. What we heard just now from citizens is actually what we are trying to highlight here. These are the concerns we are raising because these are roads built with taxpayers' money. We pay the toll tax as well, and all of these toll roads are equally hazardous for commuters, and that's why these accidents have happened. If there are more people around you who would like to talk to us, who would like to voice their concerns, please go ahead.
Oh, all right. Right now, at the moment, I only have these three people standing with me. But of course, we are going to follow this, story tomorrow. This is a developing story, and tomorrow we'll try to get the family of the victim to understand what they are feeling and what they demand from the government. But at the moment, these three citizens have come up with their demands. They are hoping that through our lives, through our channels, they'll be able to put their voices to the government. But anyway, we'll talk to them. Sir, so have you yourself, written any complaint to any of the authorities? Do you have the experience of writing a complaint?
Yes. Today morning also I met the people, NHAI people, and today morning met the people. And previously so many complaints we gave complaint to NHAI people. They're telling that GM level, another level, they're seeing, and there is nothing, that is, what is that meaning of? Nothing, no response in that, everything that. That is the main reason. No response in that. That's me. Always going like that, saying like that. Today morning, they met the people, they told no. They were there, no one informed them. They informed themselves. Same like that. What is this? What is the use of this?
Sir, you told us that you have a couple of daughters and, you're going to go abroad, leaving your daughters here. So, and you also told us that you don't feel safe enough to, leave your daughters. So, as a father, as a tax-paying citizen, when you come across such an incident where, a young woman, 22 years old, she, fell off her vehicle and she died because of, civil negligence. So, how do you see this as a tax-paying citizen and especially as a father?
Again next week I am going to abroad because I love my daughters. I have to do something because this life I need some money for my daughter's study or something. Same like think about that yesterday that engineers they died, so they also have some dreaming. So my daughter become an engineer because so same like that. Now they lost their daughters. Think about that, how their family will suffer. Now next week I have to travel, but I am afraid now. So I am leaving my wife and two daughters to here. Something is, because every day per day 2 times 3 times we are crossing this street last 10 years. So luckily I am after 6 o'clock I strictly told to my family don't go there because of this unsafety. So now I am going there. So maybe after 6 months or 1 year I come back. Before I come back, I want to be all those things need to be clear. This is my personal records. I am strictly telling we don't want to lose more people. You understand my feeling.
So there's a father here, so he has 2 daughters and he has to go abroad for job, in the next, a few days. So he is very, very doubtful and he's very scared about this particular stretch. He is telling that I'm going to leave my 2 daughters and my wife here, in the city of Chennai. And, he demands that the government take steps to repair this stretch because his daughters and his wife, they use this, particular stretch, this road stretch regularly. Yes. They travel at least twice a day through this stretch, for their work and for other reasons. So this is the voices of citizens we are bringing in, here for you. So these citizens, they are demanding a simple thing. They want the authorities to come and to take action. They want this road to be permanently repaired and they want a concrete, smooth road for operation. That is what they demand, a simple thing.
Right, Dharini, and you are right there on the accident spot. We must tell our viewers that this was repaired in short notice. There was some patchwork done just so that the pothole can be filled. What Dharini is telling us is there needs to be a proper repair of this road because this limited work that was done is not going to be enough. Dharini, thanks very much for joining us with all the inputs and thanks for bringing us voices of Chennai residents who live around this area and use this stretch of road on a day-to-day basis. I'm now joined by Mr. Pradeep Sarkar, road safety expert, and Dr. Sudhir Krishna, former Secretary, Ministry of Urban Development. Thank you, gentlemen, for waiting patiently. I had to allow my colleague to actually bring us those voices because we believe that the citizens must speak out. And you heard the anger there. Pradeep Sarkar, if you heard that father over there, I think all fathers would relate to it, that how do you allow young daughters to use these roads? These are death traps, and how sad and tragic it is that we are losing young lives to bad roads on a day-to-day basis. We'll put out those figures as well for our viewers to know what is the quantum of the problem. Mr. Sarkar, What are your thoughts today? This happens time and again, and no authority wants to take responsibility.
This is a very tragic thing which has happened today. It is unbelievable because we have been seeing this kind of situation every day. We find nearly more than 400 people getting killed on the roads. And particularly because of the bad road, when you have a problem of potholes, we have also have the statistics, nearly more than 3,500 people also are victim of this particular problem. So therefore, I feel not only the potholes, good surface, and whenever I feel that particularly this road is practically maintained and constructed and maintained by National Highway Authority of India. I think they should have the responsibility because always we believe that when road is constructed, it is not an end. We need to look into the maintenance part very seriously. And in case the maintenance is not taken care of, this is going to be the ultimate tragedy that is likely to come. So I am deeply worried, and I have been telling time and again that what is required to be done, not only construction and design of roads, every time we need to go for a maintenance. Not only we'll look into the potholes, we have to see the other features, like somebody was mentioning about street lighting. In case there is absence of street lighting in a particularly in the urban locality, it's really a problem for any commuters to negotiate of their movement. So therefore, I feel a road has to be a model road where facilities for cyclists, facilities for pedestrians, all with a lane line marking, with signages, everything we should be put into order so that people feel safe.
And this is the very basic, isn't it? For people, who are paying taxes, for the citizen, for those who are made to pay toll in those roads as well. You have citizens dying on the road. Now, what I want to ask you, Dr. Sudhir Krishna, is that a problem here that we've identified, and it's very clear that National Highways Authority of India says that, yes, this road comes under our jurisdiction, but why were the heavy loaded trucks allowed? Now, again, there is a shifting of onus, perhaps to the state transport. The state transport will say this stretch comes under the national highways. So how does the citizen get justice at this rate?
Absolutely. I think it is time that municipal corporation takes charge of the entire city, because fragmented management of city roads is not going to help the solution. And this NHAI managing roads within the city is absolutely unthinkable, and it is not provided in the NHAI procedures also. NHAI is supposed to provide connectivity for interstate movement of goods and passengers, and wherever the highway passes through the city, they have to develop an alternative road called the bypass road and hand over the city road to the state government and the municipal body. So on one hand, the NHAI continues to hold on to the road. At the same time, they don't take responsibility for management of the road is not a good thing. It is not justified. To say that heavy vehicles were plying, which was not justified, is also not a good thing, because NHAI roads are supposed to be for heavy vehicles only, mainly rather.
No, they are saying this is a service road. Sir, they are saying this is a service road where the incident occurred and heavy vehicles should not have been allowed.
Service, if it is a service road within the city, the service road concept itself is not good, desirable. NHAI has to develop bypass roads, hand over this road to the city on one hand. And if the potholes are different, heavy vehicles are different. Potholes do not come overnight. The worst thing about the potholes is that if they are handled in the beginning, they are very small. They don't cost much money. They don't require much time to repair.
Yes.
But if we allow the potholes to remain there because of movement of vehicles and because of the weather phenomenon, the potholes become bigger, deeper, and wider, and it takes more time, more cost to repair it, and it becomes more dangerous also for the users. Therefore, the NHAI should take care of the potholes first, and then not, when an accident happens, then to say that heavy vehicles are plying. It was not plying for a day. Probably it may be plying for days and weeks before and months before. So they should have taken up with the state authorities if that is the reason they are citing now. They ought to have handled this before. There are state level committees for NHAI. Coordination committees are there, which are headed by the Principal Secretary of Public Works Department, because NHAI has many issues with the state authorities and state government departments. So there is a coordination committee where NHAI matters are discussed. Their problems of land acquisition, their problems are of relocation of utilities for improvement of roads or development of roads, all are discussed. So it is a joint action by government agencies, and NHAI should use the other agencies' availability through the various forums.
So whenever there is a situation, sir, and you would know this better, where the state and the centre have two different parties, are you saying that the coordination becomes that much more difficult and the shifting of responsibility becomes that much easier?
No, madam, no. There is no question of this party or that party. It is a purely bureaucratic matter. You see, the political matters are of much bigger issues. This is a routine matter of maintenance of roads, of issues pending for NHAI, for, as I said, shifting of utilities. When they want to develop a road, they come across some utility, which have to be relocated, shifted, like electricity cables or telecom cables have to be shifted, for which they require help of municipality or other state authorities. And likewise, they raise their problems also, like this problem could have been raised and should have been raised. So it is not a good explanation at all to pass on the buck to the state transport department and so on.
Right.
If the NHAI, because the roads have to be maintained at all costs.
So you're very clear, Dr. Krishna, that the NHAI must take responsibility. There cannot be any shifting of onus here. I want to give a quick last word to Mr. Pradeep Sarkar. The problem is, when young women like Shobhana die on the road, this will have a ripple effect on the minds of a lot of parents. They will start restricting daughters to venture out, and that we know how damaging it can be for a society like us, where already women participation is so poor. So where do you think we should find a solution, and how do we approach this to ensure that road safety becomes a priority for the elected governments, Mr. Sarkar?
As you say very rightly, not only the roads has to be safer, we also have to ensure the vehicles have to be safer. I believe there has been an attempt made by many companies to provide an airbag, even the motorized two-wheelers. Even I believe that had this been provided with the two-wheelers, perhaps the life could have been saved. So this is a trend we have been trying to improve upon, not only the safer roads, but also we have to simultaneously see that we should have safer vehicles also.
Yes.
So therefore, this is the combination of the two. We can have a better process in near future in terms of minimizing road accidents.
That's a very important point. Safer vehicles. So manufacturers of two-wheelers also need to take note. Perhaps it's time to introduce airbags in two-wheelers, as Mr. Pradeep Sarkar is pointing out. And thanks very much, Mr. Pradeep Sarkar, Dr. Sudhir Krishna, for joining us here on this conversation this evening.
Thank you.